Good afternoon. Welcome to the live show. I'm going to get Tammy back just now, but I'm so excited to be here with you again this afternoon. It's 1 o'clock, and we've been promoting a beautiful talk for this week, and it's going to be all about how to boost your immune system and obviously the immune system of your family. But first, before we start into it, just a few announcements and things. I just want to sincerely apologize for last week's show. I'm going to take the blame on me that the sound was not good, but we've done a lot of troubleshooting and making sure that it won't happen again. So we've tested and we're confident and excited to be with you this time. So thank you for tuning in. I see lots of you are coming live already. It's really lovely to hang out together, and I just love what we can do these days, that we can just reach one another in such an easy way. So having said that, please feel free to comment and to ask your questions, because as we get talking, you might feel a question coming up, like on the topic that we're talking about. So we will be collecting those questions during the talk, and then at the end of the talk, we will try to answer the questions straight away in the session. So that's going to be exciting. So be active in the comment sections on your Facebook page. And also another announcement that I wanted to make is just a reminder that it's February and it was Pregnancy Awareness Week, but we've made it Pregnancy Awareness Month. So you can find that our Essential Antenatal course is 50% discounted for you. So you can find it on our website, it's on our social media platforms. So if you are pregnant or planning to fall pregnant, get hold of this little package. It's an easy course, and you can do it in any time, anywhere. It's 3 modules, and you'll really find it beneficial. So today's guest, I'm going to introduce her first. Her name is Tammy Mayes. Tammy is an inspiring woman, and I am privileged to know her very well. We share a hobby, so we surf together, and that's how I got to know her originally. I also surf with her son, and we've been competing together, and he's an absolute talented young man. And then I realized how involved Tammy is with her children's lives, and I figured out more and more about her, that she's an all-natural mama that has had 4 kids, and she's breastfed them all, she naturally birthed them all, and she has just embraced natural health completely on a next level. She's a walking resource wherever she goes, and she's got the most caring heart. She can't help but resource and advice and tips just comes out of her wherever she goes. So I'm really privileged to have her, that she's agreed to spend time with us this afternoon, take notes, and you know what, when we talk about our immune system, you might think, oh, it's going to cost us money again, and I need to buy this and this and that. But the opposite is true, so stay with us, and you're going to enjoy this. But before I'm going to get with Tammy, I just want to thank our sponsor that makes it possible that we can have this lifetime together, and it is Spartone. Now, Spartone, I've got a little sachet here. Also, this is how it looks. It's a liquid iron form. It's 100% natural. It's very gentle to the system. It's for anyone, and especially when you're pregnant and so forth. I'm going to show you a little clip, and you're going to learn a little bit more about Spartone. Here we go.
Do you enjoy staying active? Are you low in energy and vitality? Or do you simply want to protect your immunity? Then Spartone Natural Iron Shots is perfect for you. Spartone is naturally occurring iron-rich water and gentle on the stomach. It maintains energy levels, provides natural iron, and naturally supports your immune system. Look out for Spartone Natural Iron Shots in health shops, selected pharmacies, Wellness Warehouse, and Dischem.
There we go. That was Spartone. So go check it out and try it. And if you have felt that you've been not able to use iron supplements, this is a real great alternative. Hey Tammy, I got you in. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Really
Thanks
good
for
today.
being with us. I
Oh, thank
introduced you,
you.
and then there's so much more I can say about you, but you are definitely a health coach and a health guru. And I ask you specifically today because one of our mommies, quite a few, has asked, how can I actually boost my family's and myself, my children's immune system? And it's obviously a very relevant question with everything we've been facing, which I'm excited about because it's very empowering. We always need to work on our immune system, you know. So I love it that there's more awareness for it because it has come really close to us with the fear around getting COVID. So, but I love your take on it. It's not complicated. It's for every person relevant, and you can apply something. So I'm going to let you have a go on it. Go for it.
Oh, thank you. I just want to say we're so lucky to live in a time when we have natural products like you were just showing that Spartone to help us. I actually have a friend up in Joburg who's been using it, and she's one of my health gurus. So I can say from that must be an amazing product. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I really think that being healthy is something that there's so much misinformation and conflicting information out there. You can read different magazines, books, everybody's got a different take on what you should eat, how you should eat, what supplements you should take, what doctors you should go to. And I think that can be so confusing. And I love the fact that I read a quote that said, the tenets of health are free. And I really believe that. I believe that our bodies were created to heal and to be well and to overcome illness naturally. I think we just need to know the simple building blocks of how to make that happen. So
That's so
to
true.
jump into those, yeah, exactly. So to jump into those, I kind of divided that into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 simple, easy little bites of information built on how our body works. So the first thing that you can't live without. People often say when I ask them, what can you not live without? They say love, food, water, but in fact, it's air. So if you arrive on scene at some kind of accident, the first thing you're going to check is someone's airways and if they're breathing, because without air, we can't survive. So the first is air and then water, because obviously we know we need to be hydrated for our bodies to work. And then I'll touch on food and how that builds our immune system. Sleep, which is overlooked but very important to repair, and then a couple of just fun health hacks, some little extra fun tips that you can use as a family, whether you're a pregnant mummy or if you've got small toddlers or if you are just giving advice to somebody who needs help. Okay,
Sounds
so the
great.
first one, thanks. So the first one being air, I think we really need to take our breathing and our air quality more seriously. A lot of us spend a lot of time indoors, especially in winter, which is when your immune system typically is dipping down. And one of the simplest things that you can do to improve your air quality in your home is having a lot of indoor plants. So there's a lot of plants that are really good and very easy. I'm not somebody who's got a green thumb. Well, I wasn't when I started this journey of indoor plants. And I just went and I bought 1 or 2 plants for each room. What I did notice at that point is that my children who were not sleeping well or where they were struggling to concentrate, I would put the plants in those areas and it really made such a huge difference. So having indoor plants in your home this actually was a NASA study done on that, how indoor plants improve the air quality within somebody's home, because obviously they give off large amounts of oxygen. And if you think when you're sleeping at night, you spend between 8 and 12 hours in a room breathing the same stagnant air, having plants in your room is such a lovely way to clean the air. So that's one of my top tips that I always give to people. The second thing is that under air is that really getting outside and breathing in your natural biome. So that would be essentially your area that you live in somewhere in nature. So if you've got a green belt nearby, if you've got a mountain path, if you can get to the coast, depending on where you live, and actually getting some good time breathing in fresh air, even if it's raining, even if it's windy, getting out and having a walk. Obviously, a brisk walk would be nice, but if that's not possible, just getting out and getting some fresh air every day. To some people, that sounds obvious, but actually, I think in today's world, it's not always easy to do that. We're rushing, we're in the car a lot, we're dropping people off, we're going to work. We have so many roles that we actually don't often get back to these basic things, which are building blocks to our health.
That's so true. I'm jumping in quickly. And our air is also not always that clean. So yeah, it's vital because it's what we breathe in, and especially now with COVID, we know that it's airborne disease. So healthy air. We actually should all be on the beaches, right?
Yes, exactly. And in the mountains. In the mountains. Yes, in winter. So many people don't want to walk in winter because it's cold and it's rainy. But actually, that's the best time. You go into a forest and you always know, if you've done a mountain or a forest walk, how you feel afterwards. It feels amazing. And the reason why is because of the high amounts of oxygen that are circulating through our body. So that's such a simple and free thing that we can do to improve our health.
Brilliant.
Obviously, deep breathing is also good, especially if you're somebody who can't spend a lot of time. You could go outside and do 1 minute of deep breathing. And my top tip for deep breathing is breathing in for 3, hold for 1 or 2 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 or 5. And by doing that, we're actually causing our body to exhale properly so that we can inhale better. And just open up your chest and pull your shoulders back. Even if you're sitting at a desk all day, you can just put your shoulders back and breathe in for 3 and breathe out for 4 or 5. And just by being conscious of actually breathing properly, once or twice a day, you can set a reminder on your phone. You will actually literally feel a difference to your chest opening, and you'll feel a difference to your brain, actually, especially if you're feeling sluggish in the afternoon, or you've got little ones who are not sleeping and you're tired. Just do some deep breathing. You can maybe open a window or open a door and just take in a few deep breaths and slow exhales, and you'll immediately feel energized.
Basics.
The basics, exactly. So that's air. The next one is water. So obviously we need to breathe, and the next one that we can't live without is water. So, I think water is also something that's overlooked. We really need to think about investing in water. The quality of, when we went heavy, myself and my family were actually buying mountain spring water from a local health shop because we weren't able to go to our local spring where we could get water. But for different people, you may be in different places, your situation may be different. When we started our health journey, we started just with one of those jug filters that we bought from a local shop with a little filter in, and I used to go and fill it up under the tap, and we only drank water from that, and that's okay. But I think definitely considering to put a filtration system in either to your home or getting a jug, a water jug, you don't even need to put it in the fridge, but drink the water from that so that at least that is filtered. There's a lot of different options for filtered water out there, from osmosis, reverse osmosis, distillation, charcoal filtration. It doesn't really matter. You can do the research. There's a lot of information online, but definitely filtering your water or trying to get spring water and actually seeing that as something that's important. It's something worth investing in. If you need to buy a jug, if you need to buy a filter, if you need to drive and collect your own water, it's worth it because, our body is made up, our brain alone is made up of over 70% water, and so is our heart. So all your vital organs are made up of huge amounts of water. And so water is very, very important to our health, and obviously consuming enough water.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you touched on water and that's what you suggested talking about, because it's so essential. I think lots of these diseases even will disappear if we start drinking enough water, and then the quality of water as well. I've seen with the clients I've been working with through antenatal care that some of them really are even buying soda creams and all sorts of expensive drinks. It's like, well, rather invest that in good water, because we think, water is, we don't like it, and the tap water is terrible, and I agree, but then rather invest that money in good quality water that you will want to drink more, and then you will be so much more benefit. But I want you also to touch quickly on buying water, and what's the deal with bottled water, plastic water?
So that's a really great question. Bottled water is not my favorite for two reasons. The one is a lot of bottled water has a lot of fluoride in it, and fluoride is not great. We're already getting fluoride through our tap water and through brushing our teeth. A lot of people are using fluoridated toothpaste and high amounts of fluoride, because we should use very, very minute amounts of fluoride. So you don't want to be getting fluoride in your drinking water. A lot of bottled waters have that. And secondly, they are stored in plastic bottles, which leach off fake hormones. So that is really not good. And they actually leach out particles of plastic. So you're actually ingesting something then that is very toxic for you. It would really be better not to drink anything and wait till you get home and you can drink water from your filtered system out of a glass. So I've bought some bottles like this. You can just find them at most kind of grocery stores. They're pretty inexpensive. They're nice and thick. I have one or two that are made from stainless steel, which I use when we hike because they're obviously lighter. I really like the glass ones though. You can clean them well. They don't leach anything. And you can just feel sure. Also, another nice thing is that at the beginning of the day, I can fill this and I know that this is 1 liter. So I fill 2 of these each day, and I try and get through 2 in the day. And then I actually know how much I drink. Because I think a lot of people, if I say to them, how much do you drink in a day? They say, I think I drink enough. And then I say, well, let's go through it. And actually, they hardly drink at all. Because if you have a sip here or half a glass there or 1 cup of tea there, that's actually not enough for what our body needs.
Yeah, I like it. You make it very practical. So have a bottle, fill it in the morning, and then you can keep the intake. And then by the end, halfway through the day, it's like, oops, I haven't drank too much or enough.
Exactly.
So those are great tips. Good to invest in. It's also better for the environment. No plastic bottles. And then also just really important to realize that, the plastic bottle suppliers are maybe not going to be happy with us saying this here, but those blue bottles, plastic bottles, that they've been in the sun, they've been transported everywhere, so they are actually highly toxinated. So you think you're buying this beautiful water, but be aware of the plastic, the influence it has on the water inside of it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
In winter, I often have people who struggle to drink enough water, and I always say, buy a lovely olden day teapot. You can go and get one at your sort of secondhand charity shop down the road, and start off your day with a whole lot of boiling water in there with some slices of lemon. You could put some slices of ginger. You could put a bit of cinnamon. You could even put a dash of apple cider vinegar, which is very good for you. And you could let it cool down and sip on it warm throughout the morning. That's such a lovely way to, especially if you know how much water fills your teapot, you can just do a trial with that.
Mm-hmm.
Then okay, I've drunk that full teapot full, and warm water is also very nice for the digestion and lovely in wintertime.
Yeah, and then add on the benefits of ginger and lemon. Here we go, immune system happy.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
good stuff. See, it hasn't been expensive yet to look after our immune system.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
over to you.
About putting in some conscious effort. So our third category that I've put in here is food. So I think people often start, when they think about immune system or detoxing or getting healthy, they start at food. But in fact, if you don't start with air and water and you're just doing the food, it actually your body doesn't often do what it needs to do. It doesn't respond as well as it should. So if you can get the air on, get your deep breathing and get out into the fresh air, and then you're getting your water intake, you're starting to feel better. It's amazing how much better you feel and how much more energy you have. Now we go on to food. I think the top one that everybody knows is that we need more leafy greens. Leafy greens are... Eat your veggies. I love that.
I put my t-shirt on for you.
I love that. I want one. Okay, so I think the biggest question I get from mums is how to get the green veggies into my kids, but maybe even more so how to get the green veggies into my husband.
True.
So I have some sneaky tricks that I do. I love to make a vegan chocolate smoothie in the morning. I do this 2 or 3 mornings a week, and I use some raw cacao powder and some frozen bananas, and you can use some coconut milk or almond milk in there. And I actually throw big handfuls of green leaves into there. And if I don't have that, you could take a green powder supplement and throw it in there. And it's the most amazing thing. If you put a pinch of salt in for the chocolate and a little bit of honey or maple syrup to sweeten it, you do not know that there are greens in there. You can't see them, they blend up, and nobody would know. So that's one that I love. I often get kids who come to my house and they don't eat green veggies, and I give them a chocolate smoothie and they love it.
That's right.
And you can put a dash of peppermint or some mint leaves in there, and that's so if they see the tiny bits of green, if you've got a blender that doesn't blend it completely and they see bits of green, you can say, oh, it's mint, it's a chocolate mint smoothie.
Yeah.
So
Smart.
so that's nice.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love that one. That's definitely my favorite too. I mean, I love my veggies and eat pretty healthy, but I still battle with a green smoothie. But when I make it that way, whoa, I love it. Yeah, it's like a
So
treat.
good. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. If you're going to go for something like a plain green smoothie, you can put a squeeze of citrus in there, which actually helps sort of break down the grassiness of some of the leaves. So if you have kids and you want to go for, what do they call it? A smoothie, a green smoothie, then you can just throw your greens in and some frozen bananas and nut milk, and then just a squeeze of a fresh orange or a little bit of lime in there, and it just breaks that greenness. It gives you the lovely green color. So if you start your kids off on that when they're really young, they will not be adverse to it, and they actually love it because they know that it's good for them. They feel
Yeah,
it.
it's
Um,
great.
yeah, the second one is obviously berries. I think most people know berries are full of antioxidants. It's actually the color that's in the pigment that's full of antioxidants. I find that here locally in South Africa, the cheapest way to get berries is to buy frozen berries. So we use them in smoothies as well. We also will throw them into our oats in the morning. In fact, in hot summer, I will take a handful of frozen berries out and just give it to my kids, and they love to suck on them until they
Yeah,
defrost in their mouth.
yeah,
And they just eat them straight like that. And so that's a really good way of getting high amounts of vitamin C, vitamin A, and those antioxidants that we really need at the moment, and boosting your immune system. The other couple of things is that if you have picky eaters at home, or if you yourself are a picky eater and you're not really a salad person, a nice way to get more veggies in, of all colors, I always say try and eat the rainbow each day. Eat all your different color veggies, is to set them out on a plate and have a nice dip, whether you have some hummus or you could make a dip with a nut dip, your own mayonnaise or something, and then you let them choose. You can choose, then you get to choose. You have to choose 2 or 3 different veggies. And I think allowing choice, whether that's a reticent husband or a picky child, or even for yourself to try and just get more greens in, it's nice to have something to dip into. It's kind of snacky.
yeah. Especially for
Always,
your
always,
snacky prone people that feels they need to eat,
yeah,
have those
yeah,
snacks ready.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, always choose plant over processed. I love that's a little catchphrase. So if you're going to grab for some crackers or something that's processed, think, okay, well, what could I eat that would be a plant? Like I could eat a carrot stick, or go and grab some celery, or go and have a piece of fruit. That would be better. And if you can, start each meal off with something that's raw. So even if you only do that at supper time and you eat your raw veggies first, or you eat your salad first, it's a really great way of firing up your digestion and helping you to actually receive all the goodness that you're about to get with that meal.
That's a very good tip,
So
to
that's
start off with something like that, because normally when you're full and satisfied with food, you really don't feel like eating more veggies or something raw. So yeah,
exactly.
but when you're hungry and you have an appetite and you love the taste of them even, that's great.
Yes,
Great advice.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, the third thing is sleep. Obviously, we need sleep. I think it's something that's highly overlooked. The average person spends about 26 years sleeping in their life, and spends 7 years in their life trying to sleep. That's the
Sure.
average. That was a study that I read. Yeah,
Interesting.
and so
Yeah.
I think the trial of trying to relax, to try and get to a point where you can sleep, is something that you may have from a small baby to someone who's really old. Sleeping is when you repair, it's when you rebuild. You really need to sleep well in order for your immune system to work well. So, my top tips for sleeping, and I've got some sleep talks that I've done, but would be things like making sure the room is dark enough, making sure the room is cool. It's interesting that if you are hot or if your environment is hot, you don't sleep as well. So for us, I live in Cape Town. We have a lot of wind here. So what I do is I will regularly open all the windows and the doors in our bedrooms. So I'm sitting in my bedroom here. And even if the southeast is blowing, I will open everything up and I close the door to the inside part of the house and really let it blow out. You have to weight it down. And you're getting some good fresh air coming through, and it really brings the temperature of the room down, which is a wonderful way of when you go to bed, you feel so much better. Making sure that your bedding is not making you hot will be something that's so simple, but something that really will help you to sleep. Also, just being aware of the fact that blue light will really decrease the brain's ability to sleep. And blue light would be things like TV screens, cell phones, computers, halogen light bulbs. So most of our light bulbs today, it's a good reason to get the candles out and have a candlelit dinner, or go and eat dinner outside, and at sunset come in and go to bed. Almost you're now talking about resetting your circadian rhythms, which are our natural biorhythms that help our body to know when we must be awake and when we must be sleeping.
Yeah.
So, for argument's sake, if you go camping, you often want to go to bed at sort of 8:30 at night. You feel tired. The reason why is the sun's gone down. There's no lights outside, and your body knows, okay, I'm producing melatonin. I want to go to sleep now.
Yeah, very, very important. I mean, sleep is such a basic, right? It's such a basic one for our health and for our immune system. I mean, if we sleep, then that's where our cells regenerate, where they recover, where they clean up, and so forth. So it's the best remedy to boost our immune system. And yet so many people are battling with it. So really take note of the tips that Tammy is giving you here. I think very important is to try to get outside and go seek the sun. That's a big thing I do. I have a thing with sunrises and sunsets. So I would literally plan my time that I can see that sun go down or see it come up, because but obviously for sleep you want to get the sunsets. But that is so beautiful, and it really calms you down, and you go into the dark and then not have screen time at night, and that's a real thing. So many people, when they can't sleep, what do? They get onto their phones, so it makes things worse, you know. So it's just, we need to not be ignorant about all those things, and sleep is super important. So whatever we can do to improve that. I think we can do a whole lecture on sleep, and then that filters into baby sleep. Because if mom sleeps well, then baby sleeps well too. But it's a biggie. It's a real biggie. I think we can do another talk about sleep completely.
Exactly. Yes, there's enough there, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I think and to not feel stressed. If you're somebody who struggles with sleeping, the more stressed you feel about going to sleep, the harder it will be to get. It's a kind of a cycle that you can get into, and even with your children. And I think not to resent the time that it takes for your body to land the plane, to come down, and to just have the whole central nervous system slow down and calm down, to the point where you are able to fall asleep, that time is well spent. So if it takes you an hour to get to, that's okay. So go and lie down in the room and read a book rather than going. I love to use lavender oil at night with my kids. It helps them. I give them a massage. And I don't always feel like doing that, but I realize that it's time well spent. It's memories that I'm building that will be there for the rest of their life, and they sleep really well. So that's good for me.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so the last little one that I'll touch on is just some of my health hacks. I love these extra little tidbits of things that you can do that I have found over the years for myself, my family, and people that I work with that have really helped them. So the one you just said is obviously sunshine. The amount of sunshine that we get in the day, natural sunlight, actually directly correlates to how well we can fall asleep. So on weekends, get out there, get outdoors, even if it's winter and you just it's cloudy. It's good to get out in natural light. Don't take your sunglasses off. Let that vitamin A go and get right to the retina of your eyes and just be in natural light outdoors. What did Grandma always say? She said, fresh air and sunshine is what you need to make you healthy. And I think that that is so true and so simple and something to just keep bearing in mind for yourself or for your children. So sunshine is one. The second one is making time to relax. I think in today's world, we're rushing. And when we're not rushing, our brains are rushing because we're on social media platforms and we're receiving huge amounts of information, pictures, messages, requests. People have read my message, they see I've read my message, but I haven't responded. And all of that creates a very low level of stress. And I think making time to actually turn the phone off and just do something that is relaxing and enjoyable to you, if that's listening to music or reading a book or walking the dog, something that will actually, or playing with your children, jumping on the trampoline. I love exercising. So for me, it's going for a surf or getting into the sea. That really helps me to relax.
Yeah, it's such. Let me just jump in there quickly. The stress thing, just as the sleep thing, I mean, they tie in with one another. Knows if you stress a lot, you don't sleep well, and you eat worse, and so forth. It has massive repercussions. Tammy, I do know for myself that sometimes we don't even realize we're stressing because we've become addicted to that lifestyle. Like you like to go, 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 and it's all that exciting hormones that your adrenaline rush all the time, but our bodies aren't made to function in adrenaline mode all the time. So what happens is we function in a stress level without us realizing it. And in fact, we get addicted to that feeling, It's like you just need stimulus and go, go, go. And, and that is when our sleep hormones, and we also know our birthing hormones, don't come to play, That's why birth is so important, that we get into that relaxed mode, why when we prep our women, how important that is. So pregnancy is a real good time to get into, to learn that, to start changing some gear. If you've been a very busy working mom, go, go, go all the time, then pregnancy is going to force you to slow down and get into a bit more of inefficient mode. But that's good. We need to get in that, move from that place of rest. That's really something that's my big theme, is working from a place of rest and not from go, go, go and striving and adrenaline and happenings and so forth. So very important for your immune system too. This all is about building your immunity, all these basics. Yeah.
All the basic building blocks.
Yes.
Having joy, fun, movement. Someone said to me the other day, it was someone who asked me on the beach, can you dance if you're unhappy? And I thought about it. I thought it's quite an interesting concept. Yeah, so I often, in the evenings, will put some music on and I'll dance with my kids or just jump around, even just jumping around, jumping up and down, getting that sort of nervous energy out of your body. Doing something for joy, whatever that is for you, because for all of us, we are so unique and different. I think trying to find what it is that brings you joy and doing that. And for me, it's linked to movement. For others, it's not. But movement is as important. Getting our bodies moving, going for a walk, doing a stretch class, getting into the ocean and having a swim, or getting into the pool and having some time to just move your body in different ways is such an important part to the flow of energy through your body, to actually healing your body and to feeling better. You're often, if you've done some exercise or you've had a good laugh, how much better do you feel? That doesn't need to only happen when you go on holiday once a year. It can happen whenever you decide, and that can be every day.
Yeah, so true. So true. It's actually in the daily living that we need this. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
right. Good stuff.
Yeah. My last point was just that I little hack that I have. You know me, I love to go barefoot. Our bodies are made up of chemicals and electrons, and I have found that, well, there's enough research out there to show that if we can walk barefoot on the earth, whether that's a stroll along the beach or standing on some grass somewhere for 20 minutes, or even just go sit outside with your feet on the grass and read a book at the end of the day, how much it does for your body. There's a lot of movies that are documentaries that are coming out now with information. So that is something that you can do. It's free. It's easy to do. No matter how tired or stressed you are, you can get your feet on the earth,
So
if not
true.
daily, as much as possible.
Yeah, I love that. I love it how research is backing up things that we've actually done naturally. And I always laugh because when I have some of my international friends coming to South Africa, they are amazed by seeing so many of us walking barefoot. We just grow up barefoot and we actually can't handle having too often shoes on it, but we know how good
Mm.
it makes us feel. And then also in the breaks, lunchtime, so many of especially our black nation, they love to go lie on the grass and they in their breakdown. I
Yeah,
was like, yeah, they've just understood it. That's just what they
yeah,
need,
yeah,
just to
exactly,
just go to
exactly,
feel better. That's what I need right now,
exactly,
So that's
exactly,
just brilliant.
exactly,
Yes, yeah.
exactly.
Simple truth. Hey, okay. I
Yeah.
love your health hacks. That's great. So, was that your last health hack?
Yes, yeah. Just to say that, being healthy is about feeling vibrant, feeling full of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to settle for feeling sick and tired. The
Yeah,
simple, easy things in life are the things that make us feel better on a daily basis, like you said.
yeah, so true. Okay, we're really going super well here, and we still have some time for questions. And I'm going to make the most of your time with me here. So the first question that came in, are you ready for questions? You need a break.
Yes. No,
Okay,
no, no.
I love this question. I'm going to read it, right? I've been taking a diet. This is from a midwife. Midwife Mosele. I've been taking a diet high in fiber and vitamin C. Will you say that I'm on the right track? I'm also recommending it for my pregnant woman as a woman. It assists with the sleep pattern as well.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a
What do you
great
think?
question. I think if you go, my answer to most diet related questions are, like I said, there's so much conflicting information. There's what do we have nowadays? We've got paleo, we've got keto, we've got Banting, we've got vegan, you've got gluten free. Uh, at the end of the day, plants are the king and queen of your body. So we eat your veggies, exactly. And in fact, plants are full of fiber. So my, go back to something that's unprocessed. What I don't want to see is people who are taking fiber supplements. If you are promoting a high fiber diet that is non-processed, so you're eating your fruit, you're eating your vegetables. If somebody is eating a lot of fruit and veggies and they're struggling a bit with digestion, they can steam their veggies. Sometimes people, as they transition over to eating more vegetables, they can struggle a bit because their body is not used to digesting that. Then you can start with more cooked veggies and work your way down to eating more raw veggies. But vitamin C is a very important, one of the what I call the lifeboats. Vitamin C and probiotics are two really important things to take, especially if you're not feeling well or if you need a bit of a boost. But high fiber in its natural forms definitely is excellent.
Yeah, so that there you have it. I hope that the answer was good, helpful. Thank you for posing that question. On that note, Tammy, what would you recommend? Because I know women like to take stuff too, and we know we need to supplement. We sometimes know that we haven't eaten the way we needed to, as much as we know we should have. I know. So, what would you then recommend supplementing?
Look, I have my oldest child. He had a lot of health issues when he was younger, which was part of my journey into health. And he had leaky gut syndrome. He had a lot of gut issues, and his immune system was very compromised. So at that point, we were using probiotics and vitamin C daily, because vitamin C will obviously help the immune system. Probiotic helps the gut, because gut is really the key to the immune system. It's the seat of the immune system. So those are two that I would have for yourself or in your family who you really feel that you can't get enough stuff into them. I would consider doing something like out there on the market. You could take something like barley green or Herbalife or spirulina or something like that. There's there's a few that are out there that are nice, and look for something that's pure and unprocessed. You want to find be taking something that's full of fillers and that type of thing. That's not going to benefit you at all.
That's right. Yes, I like, let me put myself in. I like the fact that you mentioned the gut health. That's also a topic on its own that we can tackle another time. Gut health is so important, and that's where probiotic is really beneficial for the help with the right organisms in our gut, because that's where the gut is actually 70% of most of our immune health. So if our gut is not functioning properly, our immune system is going to suffer. So it all ties in with each other. So we need to look after our gut health. I really think we can do a follow-up on that, on gut health, because that will also resolve a lot of issues and the lack of absorption, because you can take all these good foodies, but if your gut's damaged, then your system doesn't absorb these good food anymore. And you stay tired and sick, and so forth. So a probiotic is a really good tip to start with, right? You want to say something?
And I also think another thing that's a really simple thing to do that helps heal the gut is to either buy organic vegetables or to really wash your vegetables well. There's a list called I think it's the Dirty Dozen of the most highly sprayed crops in the world. I try and avoid those types of foods and buy them only organic, but otherwise we wash our lemon essential oil or clove essential oil, or we use some vinegar, warm water. You can put a tiny bit of soap in there, and I wash each vegetable or fruit before the children eat it, because all of those things are sprayed with very minute doses of antibiotics. And that's the last thing that we need for our gut, because our gut essentially is made up of this colony of bacteria that we need for our body to work properly. The microdoses of antibiotics that we're getting, that will be something that's quite simple and easy to do in terms of helping our system work better.
Yeah, so important. And take note that we can't just take antibiotics like it's nothing. It really messes up with our gut. We only should keep it for real emergencies. So be careful of that. Tip on the side. Lots of really good stuff. Tammy, one, I think, last thing that I'm going to be pick your brain on, because obviously this is all quite adult related, but whatever we as adults do, that filters through to your children, to your family. But now, how about babies and toddlers? I have one question from a mommy. She said, my baby is 16 months. So they're already on to solids eating. His appetite is very little and losing a lot of weight. What can I give him to try and boost his appetite? So would you be comfortable answering that question?
Yeah, I can definitely answer that after having 4 of my own children.
Exactly, thought so.
I really feel that you need to look at food culture in your home. What I like to see in a home is that the mom and dad, or whoever the caregivers are, sitting down with the children and eating together. So it's not a case of they're going to eat at 5 o'clock their fried fish sticks and some chips, and you're going to have a lovely salad at 8 o'clock when you've got time. You want to be sitting down because it's food is cultural. It's what we do together. So it's social, it's cultural, and a lot of it, especially at that age for small children, is explorative. It's fun, it's playful. So I think trying different dips and trying some different foods, and actually you eating the foods together by, you sharing that experience, so they're seeing that you eating food, the same food that they're eating, allowing them to make some mess, sometimes having some fun with little kids like that and say, hey, I'll tell you what, if you're going to eat your 3 carrot sticks, we're going to go outside and have a food fight. We're going to throw watermelon at each other. It's a silly thing, but I think food has become quite serious, and especially with children who are not great eaters, what happens is the moms and dads tend to get more stressed and sort of often will stand in helicopter, and kind of there becomes this negative interaction. It's like a two-way thing, and then it becomes a controlling point for little children. If he continues to lose weight, I would definitely have it checked out to make sure that it's nothing more sinister. But I think seeing food as, I always used to see food as something to play with, something to squish, mush it up in your hand and then eat it. You can try lots of different fun things. Just imagine that you're camping or go outside, make a braai outside, eat from the fire, sit down, say we're going to have a Japanese meal tonight. When they're little, they love different things, love it to be fun. And often little children like to eat on the move. And culturally, that may not be completely acceptable, but you know what? They're not going to be on the move eating forever. So if that's what they want to eat a little bit and snack, provide good food for them and allow them some space to have fun with it and see what they're naturally wanting to do with their food.
Yeah, that's really, really great advice. Thanks, Tammy. And also, I think you're going to learn to know what type of person your child is, your baby is, because we're all different kind of eaters, and that is also important. So you're going to find out what they naturally pick to eat, and that's going to be their preferences. So yeah, and remember that kids are kids. They love to play. Life is like a game. So make it a game, and be patient, I would say. But obviously, if baby is really sick, maybe go check it out if there's no underlying conditions. But in general, for kids, really great advice. So Tammy, I think we've used our time wisely today. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom that you've acquired over the years of experience and with study and with, really, really appreciate you and value you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So if people want to find out more about you, where can they go? Where can they follow you? I know you do something with family health and recipes.
Yes, so I've got, you'll be able to find some fun health tips that I provide on Instagram. So my handle is Mayes Health Tribe, MAYES, Health, HELTH Tribe. And I just like to, it's a space for me to inspire others on various topics: health, growing your own veggies, eating good stuff, recipes, that type of thing. And you can contact me, you can DM me if you want to know more about just the work that I do with ladies around here. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and can I invite you back in the show?
I would love to come back anytime.
Great. Thank you. See you.
Pleasure.
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye. Wow, I hope you enjoyed that. That was me for today. That was us for today. Thank you for tuning in and for staying online, and I hope it was really helpful. So once again, thank you for Spartone for sponsoring and making this show possible, because trust me, it all costs a lot of money to produce, and lots going behind the scenes. So thank you for that. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'm going to leave you with Spartone clip. Bye.
Do you enjoy staying active? Are you low in energy and vitality? Or do you simply want to protect your immunity? Then Spartone Natural Iron Shots is perfect for you. Spartone is naturally occurring iron-rich water and gentle on the stomach. It maintains energy levels, provides natural iron and naturally supports your immune system. Look out for Spartone Natural Iron Shots in health shops, selected pharmacies, Wellness Warehouse and Dischem.